A 70-year-old man just collapsed from a stroke, not from heart disease, not from high blood pressure. It was because he couldn't stand on one leg for more than 5 seconds without staggering. Some things that were once so easy now suddenly feel impossible. You don't know why. You just know your body is slowing down. But did you know? 7 seemingly small actions we perform every day are actually a clear measure of whether your body is aging or reversing the clock. After age 60, every step, every breath, every time you hold a glass of water without a tremor is a message from your body. You're still strong, or you need to pay attention. A stroke doesn't just happen overnight. It sends out early signals through the little things we can no longer do as we once did. The problem is, hardly anyone notices. In this video, I'll share 7 simple actions that, if you can do them well each day, could be a sign your body is fighting off aging and naturally steering clear of stroke risk. If you want to know where you stand on your own health journey, or you're looking for a gentle way to check in with yourself, please watch this video to the end. Because sometimes the answer isn't at the hospital, but in the very way you stand up and sit down each day. Let's dive in. On to the first thing most older adults can no longer do. The inability to stand on one leg for 10 seconds signals danger. If you can't stand on one leg for 10 seconds, don't just blame it on age. It might be a warning. You're nearing a stroke without even realizing it. The ability to balance is one of the clearest indicators of neurological and circulatory health in older adults. The simple test, stand on one leg, hands on hips, eyes forward, for 10 seconds, though seemingly harmless, is one of the earliest warnings for stroke risk, falls, and cognitive decline in people over 60. Many people think losing balance is just a normal part of getting older. But neurologists warn, when you cannot hold a one-legged stance for 10 seconds without wobbling or bracing yourself, it's a sign your body is losing the connection between the central nervous system and deep sensation, a factor directly linked to the risk of a silent stroke. A large study from Kyoto University, Japan, followed over 1,300 people, aged 60 and up, showing those who couldn't stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had twice the risk of microvascular brain damage, even without clear symptoms. These are silent injuries that can easily lead to an ischemic stroke within a few years. Janet Lawson, 74, from Denver, Colorado, once fell in her kitchen just from turning to get a pot without keeping her balance. At the hospital for a checkup, the doctor asked her to try standing on one leg, and she couldn't hold it for more than 4 seconds. Imaging tests later revealed she had small signs of cerebral vascular damage. Thanks to this early detection, she was treated and recovered with a balance program, preventing a future stroke. Just one small test helped me change my entire lifestyle, she recalled. If you want to test this at home, try standing on one leg on a firm, shoeless surface, near something for support. If you can't hold it for 10 seconds straight after a few tries, it's time to see a doctor to check your blood pressure, circulation, and nerve function. The body never just collapses overnight. It always sends small signals. And if you listen in time, you can prevent major catastrophes. Maintaining balance isn't just physical. It's about keeping your life steady from unexpected falls. Starting with a single stance, you can protect yourself from an unforeseen stroke. Similar to the one-leg test, another simple yet telling sign is feeling distinctly out of breath after walking quickly for just 6 minutes. If a brisk 6-minute walk leaves you gasping for air, it isn't just fatigue. It could be a final warning from your heart and brain. Many people over 60 believe that getting breathless from a brisk walk is a normal part of aging. But the truth is, if walking quickly for just 6 minutes, about a few laps around the park or through a supermarket, leaves you exhausted, breathless, or forces you to stop, it could be a sign of an inefficient circulatory system, even hinting at a risk for stroke or mild heart failure. According to the American Heart Association, the 6-minute walk test is a simple yet reliable tool for assessing exercise tolerance, cardiopulmonary endurance, and cardiovascular risk in older adults. Those unable to walk continuously for 6 minutes at a steady pace without breathlessness have a higher risk of arrhythmia, cerebral ischemia, and other vascular issues that could lead to a stroke. William Cruz, 71, from El Paso, Texas, once considered himself perfectly healthy with no obvious symptoms. But after a test at a local health center, he only managed 4.5 minutes before needing to stop for air. Subsequent tests revealed he had carotid artery stenosis and unstable blood pressure, both factors that lead to stroke if left unchecked. I never thought that walking slower could be tied to my heart and brain, he shared. The goal isn't to avoid exercise, but to listen to your body and improve gradually. Try walking daily, starting with 5 to 10 minutes, and increase as you can. If you feel unusual fatigue, dizziness, or chest pain, don't wait. Get a full health check, especially for your cardiovascular system and blood pressure. Your legs don't just carry you places, they reflect the inner strength of your entire body. A single breathless step could be the first signal your body needs help. And if you listen early, you can protect your brain, heart, and life from an unexpected stroke. 6 simple minutes. Sometimes it's the most important reminder you'll ever get. But it's not just about walking or balance. If you start struggling to lift something light, like a grocery bag or a small kettle, it might not be simple muscle weakness. Can't lift a carton of milk. Don't just blame old age. Your heart might be sending out its final warning. After 60, lifting a grocery bag, a small water jug, or a pot of soup can become a challenge. Many people chalk it up to weaker muscles from aging. But few realize that declining lifting strength isn't just about age. It can also be an early sign of poor circulation, warning of a potential heart attack, or an underlying stroke risk. When your body can't supply enough blood and oxygen to muscle groups, especially in the arms and shoulders, you'll feel weak, tire easily, and be unable to lift even light objects. This isn't just a tired arm, but a sign of reduced muscle perfusion, a consequence of narrowed blood vessels, a weak heart, or unstable blood pressure. These seemingly small things are the quiet warning signs of larger problems forming. According to a Harvard Medical School study, significantly weaker hand strength, measured by grip and lifting ability, is directly linked to a doubled risk of stroke in people over 65. Hand strength is an indirect marker of cardiovascular and motor nerve health. When it weakens, it could mean your brain and muscles aren't getting enough blood to work effectively. Doris McAllister, 77, from Tampa, Florida, noticed she could no longer lift a carton of milk and a few apples. She thought it was just fatigue, but her daughter, a nurse, took her for a checkup. Doctors discovered she had carotid artery stenosis, putting her at high risk for a stroke. Thanks to timely detection, she received treatment and recovered safely. "If I just thought it was old, weak hands, I might be bedridden now," she said. You don't have to try lifting more. Instead, listen to your body when you can no longer do what was once normal. If you feel noticeable weakness in your hands, especially on one side, or it comes with tremors or numbness, see a doctor immediately to screen for cardiovascular or stroke risks. Don't underestimate the strength in your hands. It doesn't just help you carry things, it reflects the life force circulating inside you. And sometimes, a light bag you can't lift is the alarm bell you need to hear to keep your body healthy and safe. Similar to losing hand strength, if you find it hard to squat down and then stand back up, even with empty hands, that could also be a warning sign. A single wobble when standing up could be a critical warning from your heart and brain that they're under strain. Many people think being unable to stand up after squatting is just a normal part of getting older. But the truth is, if rising from a low position becomes difficult, accompanied by dizziness, imbalance, or staggering, it's not just weak muscles, but a potential sign of an unstable circulatory and nervous system, which carries a hidden risk of stroke. Squatting and rising requires seamless coordination between muscles, balance, blood pressure, and blood flow to the brain. In younger people, this process is quick and smooth. But in older adults, especially those with low blood pressure, hardened arteries, or poor circulation, the sudden change in posture can cause a drop in blood flow to the brain, leading to lightheadedness, a key factor that increases the risk of falls and stroke. According to a study in the American Journal of Neurology, the ability to stand firmly from a low position is a key predictor of vascular events within the next 2 years, especially for those over 70. People who struggle with this simple movement have twice the risk of stroke compared to peers with stable mobility. Raymond Hale, 75, from Madison, Wisconsin, used to feel just a little tired whenever he squatted to water his plants and stood back up. Then one day he nearly fell backward after rising suddenly. Luckily, he was taken for a checkup right away. The results showed signs of postural orthostatic hypotension and mild carotid stenosis. Thanks to early intervention with exercise and circulation support, he has stabilized. I never thought trouble standing up was related to my heart, he recalled. Pay close attention to your ability to rise from a low position. If you feel tired, lose your balance, or need to use your hands to get up, don't take it lightly. Start with leg strengthening exercises, practice balancing, and make a habit of rising slowly. At the same time, you should get a cardiovascular checkup if this persists or happens suddenly. Because standing up isn't just about your legs. It's a measure of your entire body's health. Let every time you stand up be proof that you're still steady, sharp, and in control of your body. And if that becomes difficult, take it as a gentle reminder from your heart and brain, it's time you took a little more care of us. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, let me know by dropping a 4 in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't already, why not subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next? Your support means the world and helps us create more content just like this. And if climbing just one flight of stairs leaves you gasping for breath, with chest heaviness or tired legs, that is not a sign of weakness due to old age. You climb one flight of stairs and have to stop to breathe. Maybe it isn't fatigue, it might be your body crying out for help. Feeling breathless, tired, or having to stop midway up the stairs after 60 is often dismissed as a normal part of aging. But in reality, this can be one of the earliest and most vital signs that your heart is working inefficiently, and if ignored, could lead to a heart attack or a stroke. Climbing stairs is a simple activity that consumes several times more energy than walking on a flat surface. To do it, your heart must pump harder, your lungs must deliver oxygen faster, and your muscles must work in harmony. When one of these systems can't keep up, you'll feel breathless, have chest tightness, or feel completely drained. That's not getting old, but could be an early sign of coronary artery disease, mild heart failure, or poor cerebral circulation. According to the American Heart Association, people over 60 who regularly struggle to climb one flight of stairs, especially with accompanying chest tightness, mild nausea, or dizziness, should get a cardiovascular checkup immediately. This is one of the simplest yet most effective stress tests for detecting hidden risks. Walter Simmons, 70, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was once an active man, but one day he realized he had to stop between the first and second floors to catch his breath. He first thought he was just full from a big meal, but it happened again and again. After a checkup, his doctor found an 80% blockage in his coronary artery and intervened just in time. The stairs in my house saved my life, he shared. If climbing stairs makes you unusually tired, don't be complacent. Note the frequency, the specific feelings, and talk to your doctor. In the meantime, engage in gentle exercise, eat healthily, and maintain a stable weight to reduce the strain on your heart. Stairs don't just connect floors. Sometimes they're the bridge connecting you to an early discovery, one that prevents a major catastrophe. Because heart health isn't just measured by a heartbeat, it's shown most clearly in every step you take to move upward each day. And sometimes you don't need to climb stairs or walk far. A simple motion like turning your head and feeling dizzy or off balance is also a sign you shouldn't ignore. If you get dizzy when turning your head, don't just brush it off as ordinary dizziness. It could be the alarm bell before a stroke you never saw coming. You're standing, you turn your head to the right to answer a call, and suddenly you feel unsteady. Your vision blurs, a momentary loss of control. Many people blame it on a stiff neck, lack of sleep, or turning too fast. But the truth is, losing your balance when turning your head can be an early sign of a problem with cerebral circulation, the vestibular system, or the central nervous system, all closely tied to stroke risk. After 60, the arteries carrying blood to the brain can harden and narrow over time. When you turn your head suddenly, blood flow may be momentarily cut off, causing that feeling of unsteadiness. If it's accompanied by blurred vision, slurred speech, or weakness in your limbs, it's a sign you need immediate medical attention. This isn't just about losing balance with age, but could be a warning of a transient ischemic attack, TIA, often called a mini-stroke. According to the American Stroke Association, about 15% of all acute stroke patients experience imbalance or dizziness when turning their head in the 48 hours prior, but most of them ignored it. That is a missed opportunity for timely intervention. Frances Miller, 73, from Boise, Idaho, had often felt a slight wobble whenever she turned her head to find the TV remote. One day as she stood up and turned, she fell to the floor. Luckily, her son was there to call for an ambulance. Doctors confirmed she had just had a TIA. If they'd been a few hours later, the outcome could have been far worse. I never thought a simple turn of the head could lead to something so serious, she shared. If you feel off balance when turning your head, please don't take it lightly. Sit down immediately if you feel dizzy, avoid quick turns, and watch if symptoms include limb weakness, blurred vision, or difficulty speaking. If so, call for emergency help right away. Early detection and treatment can prevent a full-blown stroke. Sometimes a simple turn of the head is all it takes for your body to speak up, and listening at the right moment is how you stay safe, steady, and sharp for years to come. Because with a stroke, being just a few minutes late can change everything. And finally, if you start to notice your hand trembling when holding a glass of water, however slightly, it shouldn't be dismissed as an old age tremor. If your hand trembles slightly, even when you aren't tired or stressed, don't ignore it. It might be a sign your brain isn't getting enough blood, and a stroke could be just around the corner. At 60 and over, many people notice their hands shake a little when holding a glass, using utensils, or writing a short note. This is often dismissed as normal aging, but in truth, a slight tremor, especially one that appears gradually and becomes more noticeable, could be an early sign of poor circulation or a motor control issue linked to the central nervous system. Both are factors that increase stroke risk if not monitored closely. The brain needs a steady supply of blood to control fine motor skills like holding, gripping, and writing. When blood flow to the motor control regions weakens, due to narrow arteries, a weak heart, or mild degeneration, you'll start to find everyday movements become less precise. A shaky hand, a feeling of weakness, or difficulty steadying small objects are all signs that require early attention. According to the Mayo Clinic's Neurology Institute, about a third of all minor stroke patients had experienced a subtle hand tremor for weeks beforehand, but it was overlooked or misdiagnosed as a benign tremor of old age. Even more telling, if the tremor is asymmetrical, for example, only one hand shakes noticeably, the risk of stroke is even higher. Stephen Wallace, 74, from Austin, Texas, thought the slight tremor in his right hand while pouring coffee was just an age thing. However, when it became a regular and more obvious occurrence, he decided to see a doctor. The result? He had signs of mild ischemia in his motor control region. After taking anticoagulants and adjusting his blood pressure, the tremor nearly vanished. "I'm glad I didn't dismiss that seemingly small sign," he said. If you feel your hand starting to tremble slightly, especially when you're not anxious or tired, track its frequency and severity. Combine this with neurological and cardiovascular checkups to rule out hidden risks. And if needed, don't hesitate to ask for brain imaging or cerebral blood flow tests. Because a steady hand doesn't just help you hold a glass, it's a sign that your brain and heart are still working in harmony. Let these small movements remind you to take care of yourself, because sometimes your body's subtlety is the only warning you get before a stroke arrives unannounced. Those 7 signs we just covered, they might seem small, but for anyone over 60, they're a survival map. If you can still stand steady on one leg, still walk without getting breathless, still climb stairs without needing a break, celebrate that, because your body is telling you, I'm still young on the inside. And if you find there are a few things you can't do like you used to, don't worry. That's not a final verdict. It's a wake-up call, a reminder to love your body more, to rest when you need to, and to start over with the smallest of steps. Strokes, falls, loss of strength, they don't happen in a single day. They start with the small changes we so often ignore. But it's also from there that we can slow the journey of aging, with a little attention and a little persistence. If this video has made you look at your body with new eyes, please share it with a friend. Someone who still walks every morning, someone who still stands up and sits down every day without realizing, whether they are strong or losing ground, because knowing early means living longer and living on your own terms. Thank you for taking the time to listen and for choosing to slow down and truly tune into your body. Wishing you stability in every step and strength on your journey through the years.